Gardening can take on a lot of different forms, and whether you're starting with an established garden space or you're looking at constructing a garden space, you first want to think about soil preparation. And the best place to start is by soil sampling. A soil sample will give you those baseline readings of the fertility that is in your soil and available for those new plants. Now, this is nice to do at the end of winter, early spring, before you start fertilizing, so that you know exactly what you need to apply as you go through the season. And if you think, well, I'll just keep doing what I've always done, it might not always end in the same results. In fact, if you continue to do that, it has shown to lower the pH and also increase to excessive levels some of those nutrients. Plus, you might be throwing your money away because it might not be necessary. This is why soil sampling in the early stages of spring is a great way to get started. Now, for an ornamental herbaceous garden, you're kind of working with existing plants usually. And you can see here we have a lot of dead debris to deal with. So at this point in March, you can see a lot of the green plants are coming on now. And even though we've left this, it's important to leave it because it allows for winter protection and also for an environment for beneficial insects to overwinter. But at this point, it's time to remove this, allowing that vegetation to come on through. So you can use pruners simply to cut some of this back. Also, a large leaf rake or even one of these hand rakes is really nice to get all this debris out from around, like daylilies and some of your other perennial crops here. So we're going to continue to do this, but this stuff is actually still beneficial in your garden. So instead of just bagging it up and putting it out on the curb, make sure you add it into your compost pile. Now, for a vegetable garden, it's a little bit different. So you want to make sure that you're going ahead and smoothing out the bed as much as possible. You can use the back of a leaf rake to really get that smooth. And that's important so that when you're direct sowing your seeds, that the seeds actually stay in place where you're planting them. The other thing too is it's a nice opportunity based off of your soil test to go ahead and add any compost or any amendments that you might need to incorporate into the soil at this time. Remove any old plants, of course, as well, or debris that you might find in your garden. If you haven't ever cleaned out your vegetable garden from last season and you still have tomatoes and pepper plants in there, you want to make sure to remove those. And of course, if they didn't have diseases on them, you can add that to the compost pile as well. Now, if you did grow a cover crop during the fall season or into the winter months, you want to make sure that you begin to terminate that. And there's a couple of different ways to do that. But terminating that cover crop now will allow it to go ahead and incorporate into your planting soil before you actually plant your crop this season. So go ahead and start getting those vegetable gardens ready. Another option for gardening this season is, of course, container gardens. Containers are a nice addition to the garden for accents, or also if you're having a hard time getting down onto the ground level, containers really help elevate that a little bit more for you. Now, if you are container gardening, you want to make sure to always use potting soil or potting media, not actual topsoil. So potting media is composed of different materials, usually vermiculite, perlite, sphagnum or peat moss, and also sometimes bark mulch that's mixed in here. Basically, it's a combination that it really allows that potting media to hold the moisture around that plant, but yet also adequately drain. Versus topsoil will not do that for you. So if you have used containers previously and you have old potting media in there, you want to make sure to go ahead and clean out that potting media because as it goes through a season, it breaks down and loses its ability to retain and also drain properly. So if you didn't have any disease problems or any root problems last year, go ahead and use that in your compost pile when you're cleaning that out. Now take advantage of having empty containers and also clean your containers with a 10% bleach solution. Again, it'll just kind of prevent any pathogens from carrying over from season to season. And finally, when you've got them all emptied and clean, it's time to go ahead and find you a nice potting soil to then fill them back up again and be prepared for this season.
We hope you enjoyed this video as part of our Oklahoma Gardening YouTube channel. You can also find even more videos on the OK Gardening Classics YouTube channel. And join us on social media for great gardening tips, photos, and discussion.